Good evening, everybody. Michael D. sitting on the mic again, and we have another segment of Is the Shooting in the Brooks Case Fair? Ron, do you think that shooting in Georgia is actually justified?
No, I don't think he's justified shooting in the back. I mean, that's going to have to be a trial. So he's been charged, right?
Oh, absolutely. I believe that's going to be cut and tried big time. There are attorneys who don't believe it, but I think that it's going to be a much shorter trial than they've ever seen in their life. I mean, you can't get no better than, 8 different angles of the murder happening. Ron?
Anytime you shoot a person in the back that's away from you, fight's over. You have to pursue them a different way, not pull it. So, the police are going to learn better from here on out. It's just got to stop this stupidity.
Well, my question really is, the Georgia police officer who knew he took the taser, and the cop had to know a taser is not considered a weapon, okay? Why did the cop shoot him when he only used a taser? Cop knows it's not a weapon.
Well, they used to call these tasers stun guns, right? It just stunned them so that they could keep the handcuffs on, whatever else, and then put them in the car. I don't know that they're any more powerful than they ever were. Probably are. But that should have done the job. I don't know what the guy was hopped up on. You know, when he was given a taser, it didn't work. I mean, and then he could run away. Probably ran out of breath, slowed him down, got shot in the back.
Well,
it's just like unbelievable.
It's not like you're hopped up on anything, but once your adrenaline gets flowing that good, it's going to take a few times to stop you. And I personally don't see how he would have survived about 50,000 volts going through his body twice. You know?
Yeah. There's some reason sometimes police do people twice, maybe more than twice, but what's the most, do you remember what's the most times you ever heard a policeman taser somebody?
Yeah, 4 times.
How many?
4 times, and they ended up killing him.
4 times?
Uh-huh. It's 50,000 volts going through their body at one time per tase.
Yeah. That'll do it all right. Wow.
And well, for sure, that will do it.
Well, we've been over it before. They really have to redo the rules.
Oh, I believe so. I still say that the commissioner and the mayor in all counties throughout the continental U.S. / world should sit down and change the same rules. You know?
There are some states that want the counties to be uniform in police force. Otherwise, they're going to take benefits away from the counties. The states will do that. So they're working on that right now. But why not all the states get together and decide something uniform for the whole country? I mean, once there's this injustice done by police officers that kill people unjustly in one state, they rebel in all of them. I mean, the people that support this person that got killed rebel in all the states, not just the one state where the stupidity was executed. Is that a good word?
I'd say it's execution, yeah. That's what it looked like to me.
It is an execution, isn't it? And it's a stupid one, too. Whatever.
But, you know, I don't understand what was in this person's mind. when he just shot him in the back? Is it just hatred, or are they just racist? No.
Like, in light of what's happening, especially the first case, with
Floyd case. George Floyd case.
Floyd, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You would think the police departments and the police would be more careful after that. But it seems like, and not even a week goes by where another one messes up and everything like that. And it's not like a white cop killing a white person either. It's a white cop killing a black person.
Exactly.
And it starts all over again. You know, the whole thing. You'd think they would be a lot more careful handling the thing. I mean, everybody heard about the George Floyd case, so especially the police, right?
Oh, you would think
why
that.
Are they craziness? Go ahead, that's your court.
Yeah, you would think that, right? You know. But I don't know. You can't train everybody the proper way how you want them trained. So the only right thing is for the departments to make changes. You know?
Okay, I'll tell you what the real problem is, Mike. Who uses due caution? Only the person being arrested, whether it's a false arrest or it's a real arrest. They only say the person that should use due caution, be really nice to the police and everything. It's the one being arrested, of course. There's nothing saying that the police has to be polite to the person being arrested at all. They don't get to use any due caution. They just go in there and make the arrest, and they're hard on them, and they curse at them. You hear the cursing and everything? That's enough to make you want to run away, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, things have to change here. We have to be civil on both sides. If people are suspected of something, they have to be civil to the police. The police have to be civil toward their suspects. What's so hard about this? It ought to be in the handbooks, right?
Yes, it should be in the handbooks. That's what I said before. But, it's not going to happen overnight or anything. We just have to wait and see what the outcome of everything is.
There's some neighborhoods where the mothers, especially the mothers, if not the fathers and mothers, they're afraid to let their kids go too far from home because they might not come home alive.
Yeah, that's so sad when that happens.
They're going on dates and stuff like that are teenagers because they might get killed.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's really weird.
Unfortunately.
Weird. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, it's sad when a mother would have to think that they are scared to let their children out of the door in fear of being shot or tased or beaten with a billy club or whatever you want to say it is. That's just sad. And
if this is a free country, we better start practicing the fact that it's a free country. It's not so free when people get that tough. People in authority get that tough with people around in authority that they're suspect to arrest and that kind of thing. It's not right. It's not right to end up killing a person because they were sleeping in their car. Even if they were on a drug or something like that, that did that. It's just crazy. It just doesn't make any sense anymore.
No,
it doesn't. But, they say these are isolated incidents. They're not so isolated when the news gets around so quick anymore. It's as if everybody's involved all of a sudden. You're talking about maybe 3 major cases right now, and they're spread apart, different places in the United States. I mean, everybody's ready to rebel everywhere in the whole country, even around the world. You see rebellion around the world over police tactics.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, even if you train the police in a new manner, okay, and even the SWAT team for that fact. It's you got to train the mentality as well, probably, and that's like get the evil out of them.
Well, I'd like to see the genius who heads this one and gets everything uniform and more civil. I'll tell you, this is craziness.
Well, I don't think this thing's going to be solved for another 2 or 3 years yet. That's my opinion about it.
Well, there'll certainly be a lot of damage done within the next 2 or 3 years, if that's the case. I think they could have this thing solved in 5 or 6 months, maybe less.
That would be nice if they could do that. That would be very nice if they could do that. I'm sure all the states would appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know? I'm sure everybody can appreciate that now. Come on. I'm sure that a lot of people are tired of putting up with this shit where they're being abused.
Okay, let's get to this thing where this cop turns himself in. He turned himself in, right? Right after the charge of murder
Yes.
was presented. So he turned himself in. Go ahead. Tell me a little bit about that.
As I understand the story, the person who actually did the shooting turned himself in the following day. Probably hoping to get hammer out a better deal than he did. Okay. Also, I believe that one of the officers is turning state's evidence for probably a less charge, or maybe he even gets off with immunity.
The officer that said 9 o'clock?
No, the officer who witnessed it, Ron, is the one who's turning state's evidence.
Okay. So what would be fair? What do you think would be fair if they convict this police officer of murder?
Well, murder, I would say anywhere between 25 years and the rest of his natural life in a prison cell. That's what needs to happen. I believe an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth, so let it happen like that.
Well, it certainly would make other police officers a little more careful if these sentences were more stiff for goofing up like that. They're not just goofing up. They're letting their senses leave them to actually shoot somebody like that. And they're not trained to shoot to wound. They're trained to shoot to kill. They aim for the middle of the body, anywhere on the middle of the body, especially the chest. And then if he's running something, just below the neck,
They might be trained that way, but they have to do the thinking like, how would that feel if it was their sibling who got shot? Well.
Yeah, I think that. How would they feel? Exactly.
Now, the shoe would be on the other foot then. Oh, yeah, too many things like that would be done then. They do what they have to do to get the shooter, but even if it's a little bit of curving what the law is.
Yeah.
That's what they should do.
We got to have more cops on the force that don't think that they're the judge, jury, and executioner. See?
Well, amen to that. But, in the Floyd case, I think it was a great thing that the officers did by quitting this emergency response team. They didn't quit the police department, but they quit that team. Mm-hmm. I don't blame them. I would have quit it too.
What's wrong with being trained to think of